Good morning. My name is Kyle Verge. I'm a trainer with the Appalachian Center for Economic Networks, or ACENET, and today we're here to talk about Google Business, or essentially how you get your name up on Google and what are the basics behind registering. So we'll be walking through that today. It doesn't take very long, it's not very difficult, and we'll get through it together. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go to Google/business. This should, if you've never done this before, bring up a page that looks like this. Now, if you're seeing a page that's already associated with your email, you're going to have to do something different. You're either going to have to start a new business through that email, or you're going to need to create a new email account, and then it could be associated specifically with that business. But it'll have to be a Gmail account. Again, if you click the button to name your particular business, you should find this next page here. Now, you can type in anything you want. You've seen here that I'm typing Meow Meow Business, which is obviously a fake name and refers to the fact that I have a cat that I love very much, and I'm going to use that as an example so we can walk through this together. So again, you can choose any business name you want. If it's not registered with the state, that's okay. Mine is Meow Meow Business is not registered with the state, however, it is now registered with Google. So, categories. Here's where you'll choose what exactly your business is going to be doing. So, if for Meow Meow Business, for example, we're going to be selling some cat toys. So, when I type in here cat toys, I see that nothing really comes up. But if I look at pet supplies, I find that's a little bit closer to what I'm interested in. Now, there are a lot of categories here, so you can really get really specific with it. You can also choose more than one. But what's important to realize here is that you don't need to define it super close to what you're doing right away. You can come back later and edit it a little bit or add more categories or things like that. So really just find something close and get through the registration process. The next page you'll see is a question where it asks you if you want to add a location customers can visit, like a store or office. So when you Google something, you'll often notice that it has maps or directions or ways to get there, and this is really important for people trying to find your actual location. So this might be something you'll definitely want to click if you do have a physical location that you want people to find. And of course, you can change this later. Almost everything here you can change later. It's really just asking you preliminary questions, so they're pretty low risk. The next is going to actually ask you for your physical location. Now, initially when I was doing this, I was thinking to myself, well, I don't want everyone to know where I live. But you'll see there's so many slides with my address on it that if you're really interested in finding me and Meow Meow Business, well, you'll be able to. So here I'm just entering my home address because I don't actually have a physical store. I'm thinking I could do web orders or meet people if they really wanted to buy some cat toys or something like that. So I'm going to just go ahead and put my home address in here, and again, you can change that later. The next slide is pretty important too. So it says, do you also serve customers outside this location? So if you're interested in delivering your products, or if you're interested in not delivering to a specific area, let's say you live in Athens and you don't want to drive all the way to Columbus, you can specify exactly how far you're willing to travel here. So if you're thinking, yeah, I'd be okay driving around the neighborhood versus not so okay going to Columbus or Cincinnati or something, you can say, yes, I do serve outside my location, but I would rather pick those neighborhoods, townships, counties, or even countries that you do serve or that you deliver to. So here's where you'll do that exactly. And you can see that it's giving me some suggestions here in the bottom. It knows I live in Athens, so it's telling me some cities that live around here that I might want to service. But then you'll notice that it also says Manhattan, New York. Now, of course, that's absurd for anyone in Southeast Ohio, but if you're thinking about starting up a consulting firm where you're just giving people advice on something really specific that you may have an expertise in, Manhattan, New York, why not? It could be really anywhere, and you can change this, add more later as it indicates. But again, if you're doing some consulting services or if you're just shipping to people, there's really no reason to limit yourself just to Athens County unless, of course, you don't want to pay shipping fees and things like that. But all that can be negotiated later, and again, you can change this later, so it's no big deal. All right, this next one is sort of important too. Well, they're all kind of important, but on this one, you can decide whether or not you want to put your own phone number in there and make that available to customers. So let's say you want people to call you if they want to order some food. Let's say you want people to call you when they want to set up a visit. Well, here's where you put your phone number in. Now, I can't promise you that Google's not going to sell this phone number. I'm sure that you could find that in the privacy documents that they have you read before you sign up for anything. I haven't read those. I don't think anyone actually reads those. So I'm not sure what they do with your information, so you might want to be careful here. What I'm saying is that if you don't have a cell phone for your business that you use only for that business, that might be something you can consider and use that here. But again, you're going to have to put in a phone number, or you're going to have to add a button to your website or social media that says, email me instead of contact phone number. So there are other options out there. The second prompt you see is for your current website. If you don't have one, no big deal. We'll actually go through how to set up a free website in another tutorial later on, but you can either click I don't need a website or get a free website based on your info. This is Google's attempt to just do the most basic thing, and I clicked on that because I don't have a website for me on my business, and in another tutorial we'll look at what exactly that looks like. But so you have some choices there. This is of course optional, and yeah, you may want to consider not really using your own personal phone number until you're sure what you're doing. Alright, so now you're done. All that's left now is to verify your business with Google, and you could do that in a couple of different ways. So for me, I didn't have the choice to verify through email or by phone. Some people seem to have that choice. My guess is that it comes with verifying a business in the past somehow, probably through this postcard method. I've heard reports that the postcard method can be a little slow right now, but essentially what they do is they email you a postcard that has essentially a code in it, and much like you verify things on the internet with your mobile phone, you just enter that code in after it comes in the mail. But we'll talk about that in another tutorial. I can say that Meow Meow Business did in fact receive that postcard in the mail, and so even if you have a funny sounding business name, Google respects that and will in fact verify with you. Now after you've done that, the very last thing that you'll see is your homepage. And this homepage will have a lot of different options that you can set up, like hours and what days you're open, and info on the business, your product and services, all this kind of stuff. This is the more important aspect of it. We had to get through registration, but you'll see here that you can start to edit things. And I requested a postcard on June 18th. It came last week, so I've already got it. But all the changes that you make here won't appear until won't appear on the internet until you've received that postcard and verified. So you can mess about a little bit in here if you want, or you can just wait for your postcard like I did. And That's it. If you have any questions or concerns, you can email me. My email address is here, kylevee@acenetworks.org, or you can even visit our website, acenetworks.org. And this is me. I can promise you that I look a little bit different after quarantine. And here's my cat, the very star of Meow Meow Business. And I'm sure if you see any more of these, you'll be seeing a lot more of her. All right, thanks for listening.